Hi ladies, welcome back. Today I am so excited to do this video for you today. I am going to try some makeup that is new to me. It's been out a while. I've heard a lot about it. I just hadn't had a chance to try it, but I saw one of the items on QVC, so I bought it. But then I went to the website and they had a huge sale going on, so I couldn't resist and I went a little bit crazy. The products I'm talking about are Sigma, and I'm sure many of you have heard about them. They make wonderful eyeshadows and blushes and bronzers and lip products, all kinds of different things. Today I'm going to concentrate mostly on the things that I bought, and I also bought some brand new brushes because I know I have seen some of the other YouTubers using them and they rave about them. So I'm going to show you what I bought, and then I'm going to do a quick eye makeup look for you. I do already have my foundation on, my concealer, my eyebrows done, so I'm just going to have to do some blush with one of the products that I brought, and some bronzer, and some lips, and we'll see how it all turns out. So let's get started. Welcome to any of you who are new to my channel. I'm glad that you joined me today. I do hope that while you are here, you will subscribe to my channel, ring the notification bell so you're notified anytime that I start a new video, and watch it all the way through, and at the end, give it a big thumbs up. That really helps me with the YouTube algorithm, and I appreciate it so, so much. Let's get started. One of the first products that I bought was this new Sigma Enchanted Palette. They have larger palettes that are 14 pans. This one is a smaller one. They came out with a smaller version of each of them. This is the Enchanted one, and unfortunately I dropped mine. So my one color got a little bit cracked. I love the colors in this. They are pretty much neutral. You have some that run a little bit warmer, some that run a little bit cooler. So that was my first product. Then I went onto the Sigma website, and they had a huge sale going on with things that were up to 50, 60, 75% off. So I decided, why not get the full-size version? So I picked up the full-size version of the palette. I love their full-size palettes because they all come with a double-ended brush, an E38 on one side and an E54 sweeper. So your E38 is a blending brush, and then your sweeper brush on the other one, which is really good for putting your eyeshadow, packing it on your lids, or maybe up underneath your brow. So all of their full-size palettes come with a double-ended brush, which is really good. And this is the full-size version of the Enchanted. This is really, really nice. And their colors, I'm finding out, I'll just swatch some of them for you. These are the mattes. Look at the color payoff on these. They are so smooth and buttery. And their shimmers, they're like satiny or shimmery, but they don't have any glitter in them. They just give a beautiful sheen to them. And this palette has got some more neutral tones. It does have a couple of warmers. You've got the gold here, and a couple of them that are a little bit rustier colored here that run a little bit warmer, but it's a very basic palette that I think would be great for anyone. One of the other ones that I heard about, and this was the actual, I placed 2 orders with Sigma. I sort of went crazy. I placed the first one. I loved everything I got so much, and I got it so fast, I went back and ordered more things. The first palette that I did pick up was this Cinderella palette. Now, some of you are going to be thinking, wow, she's 62 years old and she picked up a color palette that has a lot of color in it. You know what? I like color, and I will wear color on my eyes. I don't think that you are limited by whatever age you are if you do it appropriately. I do believe that you can take some of these colors. In fact, the color that's here is something that would actually go very well with the shirt that I'm wearing today. So I would definitely use something like this in the corner of my eye to give it a little bit of depth and give it some color that is going to match my colors. One of the other palettes that I picked up was the Untamed one. Look at this. Look at this. And it's raised. It's got velvet on it. This is such a cool packaging. This one reminds me of fall colors, and I'm definitely going to be using this come fall. I have not used it as of yet. I did swatch some of the colors, but look at these colors. And I know I did a video on color analysis just recently that will be coming out. I'm taping probably like 4 or 5 weeks ahead of when they're actually coming out. So this one that I'm taping now probably won't come out until sometime in September. So I will probably be wearing these at that point because these are more fall colors. But it does have some cool colors in there as well, so you can mix and match. And it's not going to be too warm on my eyes. There are ways to wear your warmer eyeshadow colors even if you have a cool undertone like I do. So I think that's wonderful. One of the ones that I picked up as well is the Cor-de Rosa. This one is definitely a me palette. I love wearing pinks and mauves and different colors like this on my eyes. Whoops, I'm losing my brush because they all come with it. Absolutely love this. It does have some warmer pinks and peaches, but that's fine. And I'll swatch a couple of these for you as well so you can see how pigmented they are and some of the, so you can see the mattes and then the shimmer, and it is definitely shimmer. It's not glitter. I don't have any of theirs that have glitter in them, and that's something that as you get older, glitter doesn't look good on your eyes. If you're younger, it might look fantastic on your eyes. And I think I had a ColourPop palette that I picked up one, and it had a little bit of glitter in it, and I actually at the very end of my eye makeup look, I put some on in the corner of my eye, and it looked fine, but it was very limited. This one is their new mod. This is very soft. It's velvety. Again, their packaging is just amazing. Look at the colors in this one. I don't think you can go wrong with any of these palettes. This is the last one that I did get, although I shouldn't say that. I have one on order from QVC right now. They had a special on one of the 7-pan ones plus a brush. And I think it was like $30-something, which normally the 7-pan ones are $20-something. So, and as you can tell, this again is definitely my colors. It's got some mauve, some cool tone browns in it. One of the things that I do love, it has a good underbrow highlighter color. Not all of the palettes do, but as I've said before when I've done makeup looks, I mix and match. When I do my makeup, I will pull out a couple of different palettes. If I pull out one that I know does not have an underbrow highlighter, I will grab a different palette that I know does have that. So there's always ways to mix and match your palettes. You don't have to say, oh, I got a palette, I can't work with it, I just won't buy it. Buy it. If it's missing one color, there are ways too to buy individuals. I have bought individuals. I think it was L'Oreal. They have little individual eyeshadow colors, and I picked one that is a perfect underbrow color. So if I have a palette that has everything but that, I will pack that with me if I'm going on a trip or something, or just use it. That's my good underbrow color, and I use it, and I can make any palette work. One of the other things I did buy was a blush kit. This is their cheek palette. And I think this is a good palette for any skin tone, any undertone, whether you're warm or cool, because it does have cool undertone colors in it, as you can see, and it has some peachier colors that are warmer. It has some deeper colors over here that you can actually use as your bronzer. It's called a blush palette, but this one to me, if you look at the color, I don't know if this will focus in or not, but it definitely could be worn almost as a rosy tone, a little bit of a rosy tone bronzer. But you could do that as well. If you were limited and did not have a bronzer with you, you could take a light brush and just use it as that. Excited to try this. Now, I want to show you a couple of the brushes that I got, and then we're going to get started. I got the F25, and I like the fact that when you're on Sigma, your brushes will say F for face, E for eyes, so you know it's, and they've got them all categorized by that. But this one is called their F28 Powder Bronzer Brush. And I have not used any of these as of yet. As you can tell, it's perfectly white. Oh my goodness. This feels so soft. This is going to be perfect. When you're putting on powder, if you're doing like setting at the end, you want something that's light and fluffy and loose. This has a lot of bristles, but they're soft and they're loose. Same thing with bronzers, because you don't want a really tight, stiff brush for your bronzers, or you're going to end up with a huge line. Don't want that. The next one I got is an E25, so it's your I-25, and it's a blending brush. And this is a nice blending brush. It's fluffy. It's not totally round like a lot of the blending brushes are. I don't know if you can see this. It's sort of flatter, but it'll blend right into your crease very well. That's one of the reasons I ordered that one. This one is your F05. This is a small contour brush. And again, the brushes, I like the brushes. They are synthetic, which I like, and I've talked about that in one of my previous videos when I was talking about caring for your brushes. I do prefer synthetic brushes like BK Beauty has and Sigma has. They don't shed as much. When I was doing makeup at Bare Essentials, as I've said before, we had all natural brushes. They wanted to have all natural brushes, which was fine, but they are apt to, after a year or so, they will start shedding a little bit, and depending on your skin, you could be allergic to them. With synthetic, I never have a problem with that. So this one is really nice. It's good for contouring, so this is good for when you're blending your contour out. So that one I think is going to be really great. This one is an F30. This one is called the Large Powder Brush. And again, it's nice and big and fluffy, so I'm excited to use that. This one is a large fluff. It's the E50. And you're probably thinking, wow, that's awful big for an eye brush. But actually, I was watching Cheryl Lee from Cheryl Lee's Box of Chocolate. This is one of her staple brushes, and that's one of the things I saw a video when she was doing Sigma a couple of months ago, several months ago probably. She was using this, and she uses it in almost every single one of hers to pack on her eyeshadow, like under her brow. So I was excited to get this one. I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to get something that's a little bit different. This one is an F40. It's your face. It's your angled one. This is perfect for a blush. And again, there's a lot of bristles in here. You can see that, but they are very soft. So it's going to apply your blush nice and soft. The blue-handled ones that I got, they're actually what they call their travel ones. So the brush handle is a little bit shorter. I mean, this eye brush, you can tell, is the same as the face brush because it's a travel brush. It's shorter handle. I don't mind that. I have small hands, so, oh, sorry about the nails. We're in the middle of redoing our kitchen right now, so I was doing some things yesterday, broke a lot of nails, so I just took all my polish and everything off because I have to scrub walls to prepare for painting. That's what I'm doing this afternoon. Sounds like a fun thing. But this one is your E40. It's a tapered blending brush. And I like this one. Same thing. It's fluffy, a little bit round, but not completely, so it's going to blend very good into your crease. The other thing I do have to apologize, my allergies are like going crazy. So I am sounding a little bit raspy, and I'm sorry about that. But so those are the products I've got. I haven't tried all the things. I did not order some lip products, but I'm going to go back because when I got my first order, they sent me a little gift card that said I can get $10 off my next order. So hey, guess what? I'm going to place another order. So with that, let's get started. As I said, I've got most of my makeup already on, so I'm going to start out with putting some eye primer on. I'm just going to use my Milani. This is a drugstore brand. I really like this brand. This is what my favorite, not only drugstore brand, but it's one of my favorite eye primers. This and Urban Decay are almost my favorite eyeshadow primers because they're nice and lightweight. They blend in very, very well. Sorry, my hair is, I'm 3 weeks out from getting a haircut. My stylist had a baby, so I'm waiting for her to come back, and I've got my appointment in a couple of weeks. As I said, I'm taping this a couple of weeks out, so my hair is getting long and it needs to be cut, and who knows, might be doing something different. So one of my upcoming videos I may have another totally different haircut. I'm just getting in the mood where I want to keep changing it until I find the perfect haircut for me. So I think today I'm going to take a little bit of, there's so many colors that I can choose from. You know what? I think I'm going to go with the new mod because I love my pinks. I love my pinks. So I'm going to start out, and I'm going to try my E50. Brush this in here, and I am going to use the under eye, this one, and we're going to see how well this packs on. Wow, actually this brush is working very, very well. And I like putting my brow color on first and bringing it down a little bit because it helps my crease color and my transition color blend a little bit better. Okay, now I'm going to take this E25 and I'm going to take the color that's called Sophisticated. It's right here at the top, this matte color. And I'm going to mix a little bit of that with the color that I just used under my brow. I'm going to tap it off, and I am going to put that in as my transition color because I don't want it to be too dark. I'm just doing a tap of each, tapping off. You always want to tap off your excess. If you don't, what's going to happen is you're going to have a concentrated amount of eyeshadow right there, and wherever you touch your brush first, you're going to have a lot of eyeshadow put on. And it's going to be highly pigmented, and it's going to be a little bit harder to blend out. So you always want to tap it off so you've just got a soft wash on your brush. And you can see that's just a very nice light neutral color. They're blending in very well. Should have brought something to put my hair back. That's what I did my hair. Now I have older hooded eyes, and as you can tell, as you get older, the skin is not as taut as it used to be. So my eyes used to, I never had a problem. As you get older, you lose your collagen and your skin is not as taut as it used to be. So it's good to have colors that blend well, and it's good to have brushes that are soft and that blend your eyeshadow out and don't tug and pull at your eyes. So you can see that it's just a very natural looking color. Okay, then I'm going to take a little bit smaller brush. I'm going to take the brush that came in with it, and I'm going to take the color that we just used. I'm actually going to use just that, so it's not going to be as diluted out, and I'm going to bring it in the corner of my eye a little bit. And I'm just going to deepen that up just a little bit. Because I like to put a little bit of added depth in my color, in my corner. Okay, then I brought a little small brush up, and this is just a brush that I've had forever and I don't even know where it's from. I am going to take this color right here that's a little bit deeper, and it's a mauve color. It's called Edgy. Tap off, and I am going to bring this in my corner. And another brush that you could use your other end of this here. In fact, I can show you. Put some on, and then just pack it in your corner. And that's going to look like it's really dark, but then all you have to do is take your other blending brush and blend it out. There's always ways that you can soften and blend your colors, and if you think you've made a mistake and it's too dark, you can add light colors over the top. So don't be afraid to try different things and have fun with your eyeshadows. Bright hands. I watch that, I'm going to end up with color all over me. Okay, then I think I am going to, I want to brighten it up a little bit, so I'm going to take this color as well, and I'm just going to add this up here in my crease just a little bit. I'm going to blend it Just want to get a little bit more depth in my crease, but I'm putting it deeper into my crease. Okay, so now I've got a nice mauvey rosy toned eye, and what I'm going to do, I am going to take, ooh, I gotta pick a fun shimmer color. I think I'm gonna mix a couple. We're gonna do something fun. All right, I usually use my fingers to put my colors on my lids. You can use just a flat eyeshadow brush. Angie from Hot and Flashy got together with BK Beauty, and I have her 7-piece brush set and absolutely love it. And she does have a flat brush in there that I use sometimes if I don't want to use my fingers. So I am going to take, I'm actually going to take this bright color right here, and I'm going to tap it just right where my other colors were ending. I'm going to put it on. Okay, well that's going to look a little bit bright, but I'm going to blend some other colors into it. So I'm going to take this next color, which is called Avant-Garde. Put it next to it. This one seems like it's more of a topper. It does not have as much color to it, so I'm actually going to top that one just a little. This is pretty fun. I'm loving these colors. And then I'm going to need something a little bit lighter, so I'm going to go into the one that's called Posh. I'm going to put that, I always put a lighter one right closer to my tear duct to brighten it up. This is so fun. This is so fun. Okay, now I am going to take, this is a Bare Essentials brush, and I think I've showed it to you before, that I absolutely love. It's totally flat. It's on an angle. And I'm going to take, what is this called? Grunge. This super dark color, and you're like, oh, she's getting really dark. Don't worry. Tap it off. I'm going to use it as my eyeliner. As part of my eyeliner, which you can do. Actually, I'm going to, got a magnifying mirror here. And when I do this, I am just pressing this basically into my lash line. I'm going to do it on the other eye. I love this brush. So you just need to find a brush that's like this. They did have the ones that were the real skinny, like paintbrush ones, and they work okay too. Especially if you're going to wet the eyeshadow, you can use eyeshadow wet or dry. But if you're going to use it dry like this, I like doing it this way and pressing it in because I can get it right into my lashes. And then that's going to help give my lashes a little bit more definition. And you can see just by doing that, my eyes have a little bit more definition on them. Okay. Now I'm going to, there are times when I will put eyeshadow underneath my eyes. As you get older, I don't think it looks as great when you put super dark colors under your eyes, but I do put lighter colors under my eyes. So what I would do, and I do have my, I have my concealer already on, but a trick that I always do after I'm done, I'll either take a makeup wipe or I'll take some oil or a Q-tip or something. I like to go and just make a super crisp line with your eyeshadow, bringing it up so you get a definite, defined line on the end. And another thing that you can do, and I did bring my Angie brush up here, is take your concealer, and I usually just put a little dot on both sides, and that's the NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum. And I like to just take it up It actually brightens it up. And it's going to give your eye a little bit of a lift doing that. Another just quick tip. Okay, I'm going to put some mascara on, but two things that I always do before I put my mascara on is use my little eyelash comb and curl my eyelashes. I do that before I put my mascara on. Then I'm going to take some of this Essence eyeliner and I'm going to tightline my eyes, which means I'm going to do it underneath my lashes, and then I'm going to apply my mascara. I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Here's my completed eye look. I think it turned out wonderful. Neutral, but it's got a little bit of color to it, which is why I love the mauves and roses and pinks. The mascara that I used the L'Oreal Voluminous Primer, which I absolutely love, and I use this under any mascara that I use, except for like my Blink tubing mascara, because you don't want to put a primer. It's not going to work. It's not going to make your tubing mascara work as well. And the Maybelline Sky High mascara, which I'm still on the fence about. Sometimes I like this, sometimes I don't. Sometimes it flakes, sometimes it doesn't. So I'm still on the fence about it, but for the most part I do like it. It gives me a lot of volume and length to it. So okay, now we're going to go in and I'm going to put it on a little bit of contour, and then I'm going to put some blush on. Okay, I'm going to use today for my contour the Kiko Milano in the shade 201. I'm going to put a little bit on my cheek, underneath. And then I'm going to use my new contour brush and I'm going to blend it in. And I try to keep my contour, you're going to blend it up. You don't want it down in here, because as you get older, you start losing the collagen in your cheeks and they look thinner anyways. But you do want to do it under your chin. Ladies, this is going to help chisel your chin, so if you are getting a double chin or you're getting some jowls, you're going to try to putting that little shadow underneath is going to help camouflage it so it doesn't look as pronounced. And anything we can do to help is always good and always fun. Okay, then for my bronzer, I'm just going to use the new ColourPop one that came out. This is the Avila Beach. I like this color because it's not too yellow. I'm going to use my big fluffy brush here. Just going to get some on there, tap it off, and then with your bronzer, I normally like to just put it under my hairline right here, my forehead. Just going to give you a little bit of contour, and then sometimes I will very lightly. In the summer, my self tanner is pretty much worn off, so I do need to redo that today, but I'd like to give a little bit of color to my skin where the sun would naturally hit. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that on. I'm going to take it a little bit down my chin and neck. Because we don't naturally get tan, because remember ladies, we are always wearing our sunscreen. We do not want to end up with any kind of skin issues or making yourself look older because you don't have sunscreen on. So you always want to do that. So a good way to get your color is use a bronzer and use a self tanner on your body. And you can use self tanner on your face too. I have some of those that I have used as well. Now we're going to go into our Sigma blush palette here. And I'm going to pick a little blush color. You know what I think I'm going to do though today actually? I'm going to mix a couple of colors. And ladies, you can do that. If you think one of these is too light and you want to go a little bit darker, I'm going to actually take one of these and one of these. So it's going to make it so it's not quite as light a pink. 1, 2. Well, these have a great color payout. I'm finding that. They have really nice color payout, so you don't need a lot. There's a little bit of kick up, not a lot, so, which is fine. Wow, and this brush is just blending like a dream. Look at the color on that. So nice. I really like that. It's very natural looking, just about as much as you want. You can build it up. That's the nice thing I like about these. They are really, really nice. And as I said, here, I'll swatch a couple of them real quick for you. So you can see. If you can see these colors. But those are the blush colors that are in here. So they go from super dark on this side all the way down to your light color. And there's a mix of warms and cools in there, so I think this will be good for anybody. And as I said before, you can always mix and match. So if something is too warm for you, don't think you can't use it because it's in this palette. If you think, ooh, this is just way too warm for me, mix the pink in with it and make it more of a neutral. You can always, there's ways to make things work. If you get a palette that's got some colors that are too warm for you or some that are too cool, mix and match, make your own color. So, all right, real quickly, I am going to put on a little bit of a lip product. And I talked about this before in one of my other videos. I love, this brand is called Lipstick Queen, and I thought it was going away, but I did notice that QVC is carrying it again. So I think she is still here. I found mine in some of different off-sites. Actually, I found some on eBay that they were brand new. There was a seller that had them all brand new in a box. And I went crazy and bought a bunch of them because I love her formula. It's very creamy, it's long-lasting. So I think it's a really good brand to try. Okay, I'm going to use my NYX lip liner. And the color on this one, I don't have my glasses on, so, and the writing is so small. This is Nude Suede Shoes, because the lipstick color that I picked, and this is really cool, it's got different colors mixed together. The color that I chose is definitely a cooler, almost a purpley mauve color, but I think it goes well with the color shirt and everything that I'm wearing. So let's get my glasses on here. This is my completed look. And as you can see, with the lips and the eyes, I think it came together very well. What I think of Sigma, my first time trying it, my first time trying all of these wonderful brushes that I bought. And I did buy a lot. I absolutely love the brushes. They are very good quality. I would recommend them to anyone. As far as the palettes that I got, and the blush palette, they're amazing to me. They blend very well. They're creamy. The mattes are creamy and smooth. They blend very well. The shimmers and the duochromes, they go on really easily. There's no glitter to them, so I think there's something that anyone could wear. If you look at my eyes, they're not like overly shimmery or sparkly, but they have a little bit of color to them and a little bit of shimmer and sheen, and I actually like that on my eyes. I know some people say when you get older, don't put anything like that on your eyes, but there's a way you can. You don't want to do something that's super glittery, but doing something that is a nice shimmer and a bright color. I think it's just going to brighten up your eyes and make it pop. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I really, really appreciate you all spending some time with me each week. I do upload a video once every week on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. I do hope you will check them out. I do have several other videos at this point up. You can go to my channel. It's called Bons.ageless.beauty. Look for it on YouTube, and you can check out all of my other videos. I've done videos on basic skincare, advanced skincare, makeup looks, sunscreen, all kinds of different topics. So I do hope that you'll go out and check some of them out, as well as watching this one all the way through. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, go out, have a wonderful, blessed day, and I will see you again soon when I do my next video.